Ooh, that coffee is and hot. Good morning, Patriots. It is good to see you. We're back with another episode of the Bald Brad Show. And took me a little bit to get going today. Not in a negative way, just had to clean up the beard a little bit and shave and buzz the head and make sure we look good. So it took a little bit longer than normal. It's not that I'm growing more hair. Matter of fact, I'm probably growing less hair. But yeah, so here we are. Let's jump right into the news. Was Joe Kent behind the leak of Charlie Kirk's private text messages too? I am not big into drama, and you guys know that. I am not looking at this from the angle of drama or anything of the sort. Very rarely do I talk about Candace Owens or even really Charlie Kirk or anybody for the sake of capitalizing on somebody's name for just views or clicks. Now, Trump's a whole different beast. We'll talk about Trump all day. Granted, he is president. So we have Charlie Kirk's closest advisor, Andrew Kolvet, says images of a private group chat he gave to Joe Kent, the intelligence official who just resigned from the Trump administration, later ended up on the Candace Owens show. I think there is some truth to the idea of Joe Kent getting a resignation rather than being fired. Because if you're leaking classified information or you're mishandling classified information, why would you not be fired? Why would you give somebody the go ahead to just resign? Now, the caveat to that is Donald Trump said he wasn't too familiar with Kent. He knew who he was. He said he was a nice guy. And maybe that's kind of what it was, where maybe they asked Trump or maybe Kash Patel, really somebody, and they said, well, the guy's always been nice. He's been good to us. Rather than firing somebody, which looks bad, let's give him the opportunity to resign, and we'll continue doing what we do. Maybe that was it. Well, Kolvet, who remains the host of the Charlie Kirk show, the guy's been busting his butt. I mean, that guy's a workhorse, man. Said on Monday that he handed over messages to Kent because he believed Kent to be trustworthy and seeking the same thing he was. The truth about Kirk's assassination. Kolvet said Kent urged him to make the message public. He declined, but then they ended up in the public sphere anyway.
Yes, in a spirit of looking at every lead, turning over every stone, we wanted everybody that needed to know anything that we knew. Not just, and by the way, we've been accused of not being interested in the truth.
And just to remind people what this is referring to, this is after Charlie's murder, there were text messages that from a private group chat that were made public and were used to, frankly, kick off the big conspiracy theory that we've run into over and over again, which is that Israel or the Jews had Charlie murdered.
Yes. So,
which we do not believe.
But we have been accused of trying to, or we're not interested in the truth. The actual fact of the matter is that behind the scenes, we have given everything we know to give, every single piece of information. This was one of them. I was told I could trust Joe Kent. I provided the screen grabs to Joe Kent, and I don't know what happened to them at that point. Okay, I just want to make that very clear. Eventually, Joe did message me and suggest that I make those screen grabs public. I declined because those were shared privately. I didn't want to be reckless with them in the public. There could be innocent people on that group chat that would then be harmed. So I declined. But then, fast forward another week or two, and they were made public. So that's what I know, is that Joe suggested that they be made public. I declined. Then they were made public. Can I 100%?
Is it possible that, and I'm just playing devil's advocate here, is it possible that maybe somebody else was in that chat thread and leaked it?
Categorically say that he leaked them. No. But those are the facts. Maybe somebody on his team. Maybe they got passed around. Maybe somebody else leaked them. But those are the facts of the matter, and that's what I know.
This guy is obviously very intelligent. I don't need to tell anybody else that. But The reason why I'm saying that is because when you listen to him speak, just as I mentioned, I'm not saying I'm intelligent, but usually in mathematics, when there's an output of something, there's usually many variables that go along with that. And you're not really sure which one was the contributing one that resulted the most in said outcome. And that's what he's referring to here. Is like, yeah, there's all these other variables that could have taken place. I mean, he's the guy that had it. That's what I'm thinking might have been it, but I'm not really sure and I can't pinpoint it. So I like the way that phrasing is really happening here. And, I'm on the side of the Charlie Kirk guys, and what a terrible situation to be in. It's awful, and you got people accusing you of deleting your own friend and your own business partner, your coworker. It's just awful. And then you're carrying on the show, and you have to hear it all the time.
Yeah,
feel for these guys,
the
man.
reason we're bringing this up, obviously, with his departure from the administration, there's a lot of debate over what it means. People have been arguing, was he a leaker? Some people have suggested he might be a criminal. He should be indicted. We're not saying that, but this has come up, and
yeah. Well, and my name's getting tossed around with this as if I did something untoward. No, I don't regret any of it. I regret that they were leaked. I was told that I could trust him. I told that it was private and it would be guarded just to look into any possible leads. And by the way, we did that with a bunch of different things because we want the truth to come out. So we're not blocking anything. We don't even care if the answer is something that is really, really terrible, okay? We want the truth. We want justice. And we believe that Tyler Robinson killed Charlie Kirk. We believe that they got their guy. We have additional questions. But guess what? It was an egregious breach. Whoever shared that screen grab publicly, it was an egregious breach. And obviously we're not happy about it. But can't put it back together again. Can't put the paste back in the tube, as they say. And so, again, I just want to be very clear. I don't know who ultimately shared that publicly. But the facts are, Joe Kent was one of the people that had it. Very, very, very small group of people. Maybe one of his team members, whatever. But he did suggest that it was shared publicly. We declined because Charlie had every opportunity to say publicly what he believed. He did not say that publicly. And so far be it from me to put words in his mouth, okay? That was something that was private. So we wanted to keep it private. And I think that's being in keeping with being a good friend, okay? Is preserving somebody's trust in their privacy. So now everybody knows. Yes, Joe Kent had it. Yes, he did suggest leaking it. Can't prove that he was the one. But those are the facts, because there's been a lot of noise made about this in the past, whether, or in the recent week, about allegations of leaking and things like that. I got nothing. I don't know anything other than that piece of the puzzle, okay? That's all I know. And I'm not going to recklessly tarnish somebody's reputation if I don't have all the facts. But now that my name's being brought up into it, I wanted to address it.
This is a good answer. I mean, the guy is just saying, hey, look, this is what happened. Not really sure if he's the one to blame for it or not, but here it is. This is what I got. I like the way that was messaged. That was very wise, very smart. Well, I wanted to see if there was more of a date on this. Kolvet was pulled into the unfolding story when Rabbi Walicki, is that how you say the last name? On a recent podcast said that Kent had leaked the screen grabs to Candace Owens, who used them to foment conspiracy theories tying Israel to the Kirk's murder in September of 2025. In the screen grabs, this is what I wanted to kind of get to. In the screen grabs, text attributed to Kirk read, quote, "Just lost another huge Jewish donor, $2 million a year because we won't cancel Tucker. I'm thinking of inviting Candace." Oh, it's that one. Okay. "And Jewish donors play into all the stereotypes. I cannot and will not be bullied like this, leaving me no choice but to leave the pro-Israel cause." Yeah, but that could be very reactionary. Even when somebody is that whole idea of like facts don't care about your feelings. Sometimes you're pulled and you're frustrated and you say things in private that maybe you don't necessarily mean. Who knows? I mean, unfortunately, Charlie's not around anymore to talk more in detail about this. But also, when you have a donor, I mean, $2 million a year is a big donation, by the way. I mean, I think anybody would agree to that in the chat. But unfortunately, it doesn't even have to be about Tucker, right? Somebody can cancel a $2 million donation because they didn't like the way that you colored your wall in your office or something. It could be of anything. And when you set a precedence of canceling something or doing something that goes against what you want to do, well, now you're kind of tarnishing what your value system is. And I think most people agree that you shouldn't kind of go against your own values. So it's kind of mentioning, like, it's almost kind of saying, oh, well, I could be bought. And Charlie's saying basically, I can't be bought. You know, we have a value structure here at Turning Point USA. And if it goes against your value structure, I totally understand that. But this is what we go with. So somebody could pull out, no pun intended, for any kind of reason. So there's that story with the Joe Kent. Again, I'm not trying to be dramatic. I'm not trying to pull names into this. It's just that was what was in the top stories of today. Wanted to make sure we get that out to all you fine people. Well, there was this also storyline that I thought was interesting inside the Biden administration's speed dating event. Excuse me. For the trans activists and mega donors. Is this the one where they had the trans people running around with their fake boobies hanging out because they were men? Y'all remember that one? That was really weird. Look, there's some weird stuff that happens all the time. But to see men with fake boobies running around the White House lawn, I don't know. That's something else. Less than a month before the 2024 presidential election, President Joe Biden's administration brought together transgender activists, government officials, and major progressive philanthropists in what organizers dubbed a speed dating event. What the heck? The event called, oh, here we go, Our Family Values, Building the Evidence Based for Child Well-Being. Oh, no. They just can't leave the kids alone, can they? They really just can't do it. They even got to put it in the name. Leave. What does this have to do, right? What does this have to do with speed dating? Okay. Leave the kids alone and you'll be fine. Well, the event took place just 3 weeks before Americans would vote to send Donald Trump back to the White House. Just has that sentence has a nice ring to it, doesn't it? Just sending Trump back to the White House. Still feels good. Following a campaign that revolved largely around radical gender ideology. But even as the election seemed to break against them, the Biden White House was working to match leaders of family acceptance, child welfare programs with major funders of the LGBTQ movement, records show. Biden officials viewed family acceptance. Really? Of so-called gender identity and an important step in preventing LGBTQI+. I got a question. Who determines when you start adding letters after the Q? There seems to be no consensus on is it you stop at the I or do you keep going? I mean, I get there's a plus there, but why do you include the I now? Because other people don't include the I. Matter of fact, some people don't even include the I in the plus or just the plus at the end. It's just LGBTQ, TQ. Who's the one making calling the shots in this one? Well, it's an important step in preventing the LGBTQI plus children from entering foster care and want to further the impact of radical child welfare programs. So does this mean that you're going to adopt a child into like a trans household? Because I've seen some pretty detrimental stuff from trans people indoctrinating their own kid, and their own kid turns out to be trans. And the statistics on that one is pretty remarkable. Oh, I think everybody knows what I'm talking about here. It's very rare to see a trans person. It is. It's like I said, seeing Bigfoot. And it just so happens you have then two Bigfoots together, and the two Bigfoots adopt another normie, but they make that normie into a Bigfoot, a mythological creature. Folks, that's not very common. But somehow it winds up to always start being common. I think we know what's going on in the little household there. Well, the goal of the speed dating event. Okay, here we go. Let's figure out how this happened. What was going on? What's under the mattress? The goal of the speed dating event was to expand child welfare programs that re-educate non-affirming parents to accept their child's LGBTQI plus identity. So it's to expand child welfare programs. So you put on a speed dating event. I feel like there's a different angle that they can go at this one, but here we are. Quote, we know that family support around LGBTQI plus identity as early as possible. That's crazy. We all seen little children go, oh I'm a boy. It's like, no, Jessica, you're a girl and you're 2 years old. You know, it's kids say crazy things. They used to have a whole bill. I mean, not to bring Bill Cosby up into this while talking about kids, but you know what I'm saying. And with speed dating, you all can fill in the gaps there. But they used to have a Bill Cosby show. Kids say the darnest things. Because they do. But for some reason, we have to act stupid all the time and pretend that they don't. Well, and a key protective factor against entry into the child welfare and juvenile systems for LGBTQ plus youth, their senior advisor wrote in an email describing the event, these programs are critical to preventing LGBTQI plus youth homelessness and entry into the foster care. Still confused why you decided to do a speed dating event. Was that like the best you got in terms of getting people to work with you? I don't know. Angela Weeks, director of the National Sexual Orientation, Gender Identity and Expression Center. Who knew such a thing existed? Was instrumental in setting up the event. Did anybody else roll their eyes when I said that, or was it just me? The National Sexual Orientation, Gender Identity and Expression Center. Was instrumental in setting up the event on October 13th. She sent an email to participants explaining how the partnership speed matching would work. Oh, here we go. You will rotate between tables of philanthropic organizations and ACF leadership. They will be instructed to ask you and question the half of you during the 8-minute discussion. When each rotation only has 2 minutes left, Marlene will give the 2-minute warning, which is the cue for you all to start discussing next steps in collaboration. Try not to leave the table without a next step and a contact person. It will be a purveyor's responsibility to follow up. So it's not that you're literally dating somebody. It's just called speed dating because you're going to discuss how you can make this more efficient. Am I getting that right? Let's see what it says. Our great hope is that you made connections and identified resources at this event that will help you take actions to increase the availability of LGBTQI plus family support services so that children can stay safely in their homes with families of origin and kin, preventing LGBTQ plus youth homelessness and entry into the foster care. Is that a big thing? I wonder what the stats are in the LGBTQI plus youth homelessness. I would imagine it can't be that big, right? Somebody else in this article has to have the same question as me. So there's way more to this, it looks like, and it just keeps going. We don't have time. I mean, look at this article, folks. It just keeps going and going. So matter of fact, let me copy and paste this to you in the chat if you want to go ahead and check that link out over at the Daily Wire. It actually seems like a good piece. I'm not against getting people into a home, especially young children. It's not their fault that they're in foster care or whatever. They were dealt a bad hand. But there seems like there's more to this story that just we're not able to get to. And, you know, we only got an hour and we only got 30 minutes left. So we got to make the best with what we got here. Matter of fact, let me check something out over on YouTube really quick here for our own sake and our own channel. I want to make sure things did change over for us here. Give me un momento, folks. And let's see, content. Are we live over? Did they take us down? No, we are live. Okay, it did work. All right. Sweet. I wasn't sure if the YouTube actually updated. You like how I say it like an old person. The YouTube. I'm going to hop on the Twitter. They always put the in front of it where it's like, hey, I'm just going to get on Twitter. It's like, I'm going to get on the YouTube or I'm going to get on the Twitter. Matter of fact, actually, I do need to get on Twitter right now for you guys because we gotta cover some stuff here that you need to know about. Well, un momento. Let me scroll down here. You have this. Oh, you're gonna love this. We got a lot of goodies for you. Rapid fire news segments, folks. Illegal immigrant, or rather migrant in this case, stole. Ooh, you're gonna love this. $90 million from the government through insane racket. Oh boy. An Azerbaijan national, excuse me, I don't know why I threw an L in there. God, some of you are wondering too, like, Brad, where the hell did the L come from? I don't know. I'm not dyslexic. I always blame it on it's the morning. And you know that you all screw up in the morning too. And still sipping on this cup of coffee. I'm not even halfway through it, so bear with me. You guys know this. I'm preaching to the choir. Well, this person entered the U.S. illegally, robbed the federal government of millions using a sophisticated scam that targeted Medicare funds. Here we go. Was it Elon that said to somebody when he was doing Doge that Medicare was the biggest fraud in, like, not just American history, but all of history? I believe him. And now he's on the run. Oh, the guy's out there, huh? Well, Anar formed a fake durable medical equipment company. It's called DME, to fraudulently bill taxpayer-funded Medicare to the tune of $90 million in supplies that were not needed or even received, according to the DOJ. This Rostomov's San Francisco Bay Area company, Dublin Helping Hands, oh, I mean, come on, was submitting the claims the feds say. And this is what kind of Nick Shirley's been exposing, Cam Higby's been exposing, a lot of other independent creators and journalists have been exposing, is all these people are doing the hospice stuff. They're, oh, I run a massage company. I'm being silly, but you know what I'm talking about. It has to be in the easily the hundreds of billions, the high hundreds of billions of dollars of fraud. And by the way, I don't know what's going to happen to these people. I haven't seen anybody really get arrested. We covered the 324 that started under the Biden administration. Well, I think there was some indictments or something like that. But yo, we're going across state lines here. You got stuff going everywhere. I mean, you got to check out the coastals. You know, Washington's just bad. Well, I'm not saying Washington's worse than California. I think we are the worst. But you got Washington, Oregon, New York City is probably just bonkers over there. Just go after every hardcore blue area. You know that they're going to be just popping off. And by the way, that even makes logical sense because it's always the hardcore lefty areas that are soft on crime. It's always. And by the way, that's even across county lines. Orange County is way more harsh on crime than LA County is. And there was a famous video of these two girls in the back of the car, and they couldn't figure out why they weren't going to be released on like non-cash bail or why they just weren't going to be released once they got there. And the girl next to her that committed the crime with her goes, we're in Orange County. We're not in LA County. We're going to jail. Tells you everything you need to know. The listed patents were unaware of the submissions, and then referring medical provider listed did not authorize the claims. The claims listed everything from back braces to glucose monitors. The fraudulent activity took place from October 2024 and peaked in April of 2025. That guy stole $90 million in just that time span, when the company submitted claims totaling more than $49 million. Wow. The billing volume and timing was designed to maximize the amount of money paid out before the fraud was detected. Okay, well, so this guy's not a knucklehead. He's a wanted man, and officials believe he's on the run. You have Special Agent Rob R. Breeden said the agency will pursue those who attempt to exploit federal health care programs, no matter where they attempt to hide. I'll believe it when I see it, because I haven't seen anything done now. I mean, how many months ago was that whole Nick Shirley thing over there in Minnesota? I still have not seen anything done. Now, maybe it takes time to do these investigations, but there you go. Almost $100 million just gone. And then we wonder why we got to budget so much for all this stuff. Well, the other thing I wanted to bring your attention here is there's these teenagers that are going out vandalizing stores once again. So a mob of black teens ransacks and vandalizes a local convenience store in California. And the owner says this has happened multiple times already. Not only should this be extremely rare, like I always use the term finding Bigfoot, but the fact that you've seen this multiple times is insane. Let me refresh this really quick. Hold on one second. Hopefully it doesn't mess anything up. Okay, there we go.
Tonight on Fox 40, we're getting a look at chaotic security footage from Power Inn Chevron along Folsom Boulevard. The store's manager tells us this all went down Thursday night when dozens of kids rushed to the small shop, ransacking the goods and terrifying an employee who was working all alone.
I'm going to rephrase that because I think sometimes words do have meaning. These are teenagers. They're not kids. They're teenagers.
Thank you for joining us for Fox 40 News at 10. I'm Dennis Shanahan. Fox 40's Sierra Krug is taking us inside the shop, and she has the store's message to these unruly young people. Tonight on Fox 40, we're getting...
What's the message? Keep doing it because nothing ever happens to these kids. Because it's, you know, they're just kids, you guys. They're just teenagers. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they're doing. I don't even want to go to the comment section because usually in the comment section, people say some pretty racist stuff, and I don't want to read that. The other thing we have here, you're going to love this. Struggling California, this comes from Fox News. Struggling California district is spending 200 and... I can't get it out. This is so bonkers to me, dude. Is spending $270,000 on a rap camp as math scores plummet. So let's spend all this money on a rap camp, then math scores. Now let's, I guess, to play devil's advocate, maybe they just lost hope that these kids are actually going to learn any sort of math and reading. So they said, you know what, we might as well spend some money on something that they're actually interested in and just keep them dumb, I suppose. An underperforming California school district, which is basically every California school district, by the way, is dishing out nearly $300,000 to partner with a group to teach a rap-based curriculum to students, sparking troubling concerns, the justice system said. That's the Justice Department, be specific. The Merced City School District, one of the state's lower performing school district, had signed a $270,000 contract with Schoolyard Rap. Oh, man. To them, it's money well spent, folks. It looks like not only are the kids dumb, but so's the administration. I wonder if the administration got their diploma from Merced City School District, you know? I'm an alumni, still doing the alma mater. The agreement includes a summer camp, rap camp. Oh, and an African American affinity group, which has raised questions about whether the partnership complies with federal law. Lessons include history lessons, songwriting, DJing, and performances. Now, I am not against having a rap summer camp. I just think the money could be spent probably somewhere else. Like maybe the teachers would be nice. Maybe give $1,000 to the teachers that are getting underpaid, where you can literally go work in fast food. And it's not even exaggeration anymore. Before, that would be such a joke, right? Oh yeah, you can go flip burgers and make more money than teachers. No, I did the math. There are interns that make more than teachers, folks. Interns getting coffee for people. So now, if the thing's whole, well, you know, if the kids aren't performing well, then should the teachers make more money? So somebody else's success is dictated by somebody else? I mean, to some degree, yeah, but how much? You can go teach somebody. I mean, why is there that whole that stereotype where people post videos of the kid crying and it's the dad yelling at the kid trying to teach the kid math? If you're their parent and you struggle teaching your own damn kid, how much harder do you think it's going to be for a teacher to teach 30 of those? So multiply your kid by 30. Well, Johnny, you have 3 apples plus 2 apples. How many apples do you have? 8. And then you lose your crap. So something to think about, folks. Is it really the teachers? Think about the coaching. Do you get upset with your coach if your kid still sucks at hockey, baseball, or whatever? You're there at practice with them. You're paying the guy. You see him doing the work. Why does your kid still suck? Gee, I don't know. Maybe because they're not going home practicing as much. Maybe they're not doing it as much as the next kid. In the same way, gee, maybe they're not paying attention. Maybe they're not doing their homework. Maybe they're not doing extracurricular stuff to get better at said math or reading outside of the school system. See how the linear logic works there? I know I'm preaching to you guys, but I mean, there's some people that just don't think that's the teachers aren't doing anything. You know, you can go sit into classrooms, right? Everybody here could go sit into a classroom if you would like. Just talk to the school, sign some paperwork, and get in there. See what it's like. Spend a week. Just like jury duty, I think everybody should be mandated to have to substitute teach. I think that should be community. Anyways, the school district told Fox News Digital that it proudly supports the partnership with Schoolyard Rap, which fosters a unique approach to education by engaging students through music, media, interactive assemblies, and much more. You know, we used to call this choir back in the day. You know, the camps are advertised and open to all 3rd through 8th grade students across the Merced City School District. Merced has handed out $610,000 worth of contracts to Schoolyard Rap. Whoa! Wow, wow, way, wow. We have here, I guess the Justice Department is telling Fox News Digital that any race-based programming is troubling. It is illegal for the government to offer benefits solely on the basis of race. We have not had the opportunity to investigate these allegations, but if true, they are troubling. Would you be surprised? Are you kidding me? These colleges are doing like all black graduations. They want all black dormitories. I mean, they actually are advocating the Democrats for segregation again. We shouldn't be surprised, right? I suppose. And it's the Republicans coming in like, hey, maybe segregation is not a good thing. Let's not do that. So anyways, there you have it. Money being well spent. Your hard-earned cash that you work for every day, including myself, it's just really well spent. There's something else that was trending last night that I saw, and it might have been not necessarily last night, but maybe midday. You have this here. 29 states could see their laws allowing mail-in ballots to be counted after Election Day overturned by the Supreme Court. This is from Benny Johnson. This would be a massive win for election integrity. Let's check this out.
Ballots received after Election Day in a case that could have an impact in nearly 30 states that allow some kind of grace period. The RNC is challenging a Mississippi law that allows ballots to be counted up to 5 business days after Election Day if they're postmarked by Election Day. Justice Alito was among the biggest skeptics during Monday's arguments.
Independence Day, birthday, and Election Day, and they're all particular days. So if we start with that, if I have nothing more to look at than the phrase Election Day, I think this is the day in which everything is going to take place.
But Justice K.
Yes. Yeah. Holy crap. Gee. No brainer. Even us common folk, you know, even us common folk get that. Oh, let's make it election week. Oh, let's hear what she has to say. Here we go. You know, it's going to be good.
Kagan questioned the impact of that logic on practices like early voting.
It seems to me it's a rule that prevents early voting because you're basically saying there are 2 things that have to happen, and they have to happen on Election Day.
Meaning the casting of the vote and the receipt of that vote. But attorney Paul Clement, representing the RNC, said the argument is that the process be consummated or completed by Election Day.
Correct.
A number of the...
By the way, you have your tax deadline, which is April 15th. As long as your tax return is post-dated April 15th, they'll still accept it even through snail mail. It's the same thing with voting. Why I'm gonna lose it. Why do we have to act stupid? Why? Well, you know, so then you have to get the thing in by, yeah, you got to get it in by the election day because it's election day. It's not election week. It's not election month. You got to get it in then. And by the way, why did we not all have off work on election day? Somebody riddle me that one. Why are we all at work on election day? Why is it that we're all going to the polls before work or after work trying to rush it in? Give everybody the day off. But again, act stupid. That's fine.
Justices also raised the issue of the potential for the appearance of fraud when votes arrive and are counted after Election Day. And there wind up being shifts in vote totals and how that may impact public confidence.
I don't know. I was with the first guy. Make it Election Day. It's a day. Today you go and vote. Look, we all get that there's these externalities. There's these people that are disabled. They can't get up. They can't go do things. Nobody's saying they shouldn't be able to vote. Nobody. I haven't even spoken or heard of somebody even saying that. And I do this all the time. I read all these psycho comments all the time. I've never heard somebody once, which is crazy to think about. Say, I don't think a disabled person that can get to the polls, I don't think they should be able to vote. Nobody's said. I'm sure you'll be able to find one. Damn. Yeah, see, so a lot of people are talking about this. Well, then you can't do early voting. No, it's talking about going to the polls and then people still doing silly stuff after. If it's not postmarked by the election day, it doesn't get the count. I'm sorry, you didn't move your. Clearly, voting wasn't important enough to you to move your ass quick enough to be able to vote. What else we got here? Oh yeah, so we got an update on what's going on with the airports, and this is CNN. So everybody buckle up. We're gonna have a good time. Nick Sorter says, did anyone else predict CNN would be confirming how ICE is the most efficient government agency in history? What a smart aleck. The record-long wait times at Atlanta were cleared up in just a few hours after ICE arrived. Oh, baby. Stop it.
Finally, we can take a deep breath here. The numbers have dropped off. The lines are getting shorter.
Why?
I think the average wait time now is under 40 minutes. So if you have a flight to catch today, it's a good time to come to Hartsfield-Jackson International. Finally, we can take a deep breath.
Why are we taking a deep breath, you guys? Oh, why? Take a deep breath. Everybody breathe in. Oh, you mean because you had a problem and now it's solved. Oh. And you know what? The lefties will still come out and complain. Matter of fact, let's go to the comment section here. Let's see what people had to say here. Have them supervised and then start taking the other necessary measures for mass deportations. I don't understand why we did not have ICE agents keep an eye on illegals at the airport sooner. Uh-huh. I mean, is that I'm not a TSA guy, so I wonder if that's still involved in the TSA in some way, shape, or form, that they're the ones that are still able to report this stuff. I'm not really sure. ICE have been objectively a huge net positive for America. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, 100% agree with that. These guys deserve so much respect, and yet they have to put up with defamation and actual death threats from insane liberals. I mean, you standing on a street corner wearing a hat like this, which has the American flag on it, nothing to do with MAGA, just the American flag, they'll start screaming and yelling at you. I mean, these people are so insane. We've talked about this ad nauseum. And I always go back to it because it's hilarious. You could be driving a Tesla and these people make death threats at you. You could be a liberal with the nose piercing, that looks like a little horseshoe with the pigtails and the colorful hair, and you buzzed one side of your head. You tattooed one side of your face and it says LGBTQ on one side. And you're driving the Tesla. And then you have basically your mini-me on the street yelling at you. They're just idiots. That's all it is. Not every single one of them. But there's some sort of a chemical imbalance in the brain, and we know. And the crazy thing is, they'll say they don't have a chemical imbalance. You could have a scenario where they were barking at you from the street corner while you drive your Tesla. You turn left, you pull into the parking lot, and the mob of zombies come streaming towards you and start screaming at you while you're getting out. And you could tell them, you're not well. You are deemed not well. And they'll say, we're normal, you're not well, as they're grabbing their caca out of their butt to smear it on your Tesla. In real time, they will tell you that they are normal. Sorry, that's the mental institution stuff, folks. That ain't normal. I don't care who you are. If you're screaming at Teslas like a rabid dog, it ain't nothing. So we got that there for you from Nick Sorter. And the ICE agents are making... I suppose the airport's safe, but also making things just more efficient, which is always nice to see. Let's see what we got here in the chat. Can people who have their own post meter change the date? I don't know, maybe. You're not going to get rid of all of fraud, but to limit it as much as possible. Why can't the bleeping IRS pull it off, but election can't? Because the ones, they want their money, Jeff. People want their money. Yeah, but you can take off of work legally if you read the fine print in your policy. Yeah, you can, but it's something that it should just be a national day. You know what I mean? Like, it's silly that it's such an important thing to do, but we're still not making it a national holiday where everybody gets off work. To me, it's just a little bit silly. I find it valuable enough to where I'll go after work or I'll go in before work, but most people are lazy, and that's why these polls that's why they get slammed. If you look at it, late at night after work, there's always that cliche stereotype. And I don't know if I actually believe this or not. I never really looked into it. There's that idea that, oh, well, all the Republican votes are in, or sorry, all the Democrat votes are in. The Republican votes are just lagging because the Republicans just got off work. There's always that joke that everybody uses every election season. I don't know if there's any really truth to that, because there is a lot of Republicans that are on like assistance and stuff like that. But either way, the polls really get slammed after work, and you wouldn't probably really have that problem. And I think it could make things more efficient, maybe, because you're talking about human behavior, if you give people the day off. Would it solve the problem of it? You don't know. It hasn't happened yet. All right. Well, speaking of what we just talked about at the airport, right? About making things more efficient at Atlanta. Well, we got this new article from Fox News here. So this is trending. This just came out a few minutes ago. Democrats hammer ICE for arresting 2 at San Francisco airport. Making things more efficient. And this is the best they got, because they found 2 guys in the entire country that ICE is working in to help airports be more efficient right now, as DHS is not being funded by Democrats. This is what they're going with. It's going to be good. I'm so curious as to who they're advocating for with these 2 guys. Would the 2 guys stub their toe? Let's find out. These are probably good guys. Didn't do anything wrong. They have no business being arrested. Let's find out. California Democrats blasted federal immigration authorities after a viral video showed officers arresting 2 people, including a crying woman. So because she's crying, you shouldn't be arresting crying people, folks. The video shows the woman, who the Department of Homeland Security says is an illegal alien. Oh, so you're telling me she wasn't just setting up a table with her daughter to sell Girl Scout cookies? Nah. Wailing and dropping to the ground as she is being arrested by 2 plainclothes agents on Sunday while her daughter cries in the background. Well, that's a very tough thing. That's not an easy thing to see, is your kid crying because you did something naughty. And what was that naughty thing? Being here illegally, allegedly. I mean, you would have known that this was all a possibility, right? And now I'm probably giving way too much credit to this mom, but you would have at least known that there's a circumstance that could take place where I'm just at the grocery store and my kid's with me, and because I'm illegal, I could get arrested in front of them. That has to be a possibility of thought, right? California Democrats argued the video showed excessive force and would instill fear in immigrant communities. No, not immigrant communities, illegal immigrant communities. If you're an immigrant, some of my family members are immigrants. None of them have issues with this, by the way. None of them. It's remarkable. And some of them are Hispanic. No problems. Because they're here legally. They're Americans. Yeah, they don't have issues, ICE coming in. And by the way, they've all said, yeah, if ICE does come in and they got issues, I'll show my paperwork. They cleared up. But don't worry, the Democrats are calling for answers from federal authorities, not answers from the illegal alien. Hey, what were you doing here illegal? We have laws, right? What were you doing? It's so funny, because if you break the law as an American citizen, what do? What do the cops do? Oh, they ask for answers. What were you doing? What were you thinking? What were you thinking doing 110 and a 25? Well, you think that was smart? Right? They ask questions. Why? Because you want to get to the bottom of why the crime was committed. The woman seen in the video was a Sacramento mother and said she was demanding answers. Quote, I am deeply angered by the video released of the Sacramento mother being forcibly detained by ICE. I want to see if we can get video of this in front of her young daughter at San Francisco International Airport this weekend. Let's we're going to come back to this article. I want to see if we can find the video. Has anybody seen the video of this? Let's take a little peeky. Maybe it was very aggressive. This happened the day before ICE went into the airports. They were escorting illegals to the plane to send them home, and the one crying had made a run for it. No, stop. Is that true? She was making a run for it? Jeez, I don't mean to laugh, but... Okay, so I see the aftermath of it. Where's the actual video of it? Where's the video? That's old. Does anybody, where is the video? I don't see it. Sacramento mother. Let's hold on a second. Let's see here. Is there video somewhere? No video. I'm trying to find it for you guys. Doing memento here. I seen pics. She went dead weight on them. Yeah, hold on. Let me see if I can get the video up. ICE arresting two. Let me see. I'm trying to find it. I'm not seeing anything. I see videos of cell phone, but... Oh, maybe this is it. Hold on a second. Anti-ICE protest at Newark International Airport yells, ICE agents, go back to your master. ICE out. That's not it. Oh, is this it here? The morning rabid Democrat scheme. Okay, let me see. I think this might be it, but take this with a grain of salt.
What's your name? Can show the badge. Where's the badge?
Where's your bag?
Yeah, she's resisting. She's resisting.
Can someone call 911? Where's your badge? Can I see? Let me see your badge. Okay. No, can I see your badge? I don't know if that's legitimate. Can I see your badge number, sir? What is your name? What is your name? Where's your badge number? I'm asking for your badge.
She's resisting arrest. And by the way, it's kind of, I'm not saying you're not going to run into this. The odds of her being illegal are going up drastically right now. The first one is not speaking English. And by the way, that doesn't even have to be Spanish. It can be any other language. Why are you not speaking English? Maybe you just got here. Maybe you just got your papers. Could be. But you're resisting arrest. That's a little weird.
Badge number, sir? What is your badge number?
Do you notice that the lady's asking them for her badge number, but not asking her for her badge number? Like her paperwork? like what the fuck? It's so crazy. Look. I'm gonna be fair. I will be fair. That's what I'm a fair guy. Ask them for their badge, but ask her for her papers. Let's be a little bit fair here.
What is your badge number?
What's your address? What country did you come from? I'll do her job. Where's your paperwork? Why don't you speak English yet? How long you been here? Are you here legally? What's your social? I don't mean to laugh. This is very hard to watch because you don't know why this person's here. First of all, this person could be like a massive criminal for all I know. But maybe this is just a mom that wants a better life. You know what I mean? So I always add that part of it. Is there's a level of empathy, but the problem is, and we've used this phrase before, and I didn't coin it. I got it from Ben Shapiro many years ago. Empathy in politics is harmful because you will most often, when you're doing empathy, you'll actually kind of do away with your own value system for the benefit of trying to help somebody else. And sometimes that's needed, but your value system should already incorporate helping somebody else. I'm not saying that if this person was deported, she shouldn't receive any help. My hope is that there's maybe some nonprofits out there that really help these people when they're deported, kind of figure out the system where they're at in their own country, and then can come here legally. And I'm pretty sure there's nonprofits out there, especially by the Democrats, that do stuff like that. But that has to be done on an individual level and allow people to donate money to those nonprofits to do that type of work. It's not easy. Even me watching this, it's not easy for me to see this lady being arrested like this and crying. Want to be clear. But, you know.
We need to see your badge number. Show your badge number. Show us the badge. This is an illegal arrest. Show the badge number.
It's okay. We'll wait.
I need to see your badge number.
Step back.
I don't know who you are. You could be someone kidnapping her.
Okay, we should call the police. Call the police. This is the face of America. Congratulations. I hope you feel great at night.
If she's illegal, I don't feel bad. Should have you didn't have to make this huge uproar, right? You could have went with them, you know what I mean, and just walked over. Now, what you guys are saying is, I guess is this true? She was in line. They were deporting a bunch of illegals at the airport, and she was in line, and she ran off. If that's the case, that's crazy. Hold on a second. There's a video playing. All right, I want to get back to this here. So this is where we left off. This is our neighbor and a member of our community. This video showcases the cruelty we have come to expect from Trump's ICE agents, but also the lasting trauma that will be inflicted on those who are forced to witness their deportations and deadly recklessness. Oh my gosh, please put my head through a thing of drywall. I'm demanding answers as to why ICE treated the Sacramentian so violently in front of her daughter. Dude, talk about... they weren't doing anything. Matter of fact, I'm kind of surprised that they didn't throw her around. What do you mean? She was resisting arrest the entire time, and they kind of just let her hold on to the handcuffs. They weren't even around. They were around one wrist, but she was... It's crazy. This is what they do. And you know why they say things like this? Because people are too stupid to look at and witness it themselves. And, you know, you phrase it like this before somebody sees the video like us, and then you already have a bias in your mind. DHS said 2 people from a family unit were arrested, saying the family had outstanding removal orders and was in the U.S. illegally. Oh, there you go. Federal agents said the arrest followed a lawful final removal order issued by an immigration judge in 2019, and that one of the individuals attempted to flee and resist officers. So that's maybe what you guys are saying in the chat there. She fled just on foot. By the way, not uncommon to leave your child behind as you flee. We saw that most recently. Do you remember there was that one that there was an illegal alien, took the police, maybe ICE or law enforcement, on a pursuit, and then pulled over in front of a daycare, and they ran inside the daycare and was, you know, using the kids as like they weren't literally hiding behind kids, but, you know, using the daycare as a shield. And then they're like, why is ICE going in daycares? And then we've also seen them literally desert their kid out in the snow and stuff like that. That's not uncommon. It happens. It's terrible. ICE officers arrested this individual. So it looks like Angelina and Wendy, it looks like maybe sisters, at a San Francisco International Airport. These illegal aliens had a final removal order from an immigration judge since 2019. But don't worry, make sure you ask those guys for their badge. This is not what America looks like. This is actually what America looks like. I mean, it came down from a judge. I mean, you couldn't get more American than this using the justice system in this process. While being escorted to the international terminal for processing, oh my gosh, you guys are right. You guys are spot on. Oh, baby, it just gets worse, doesn't it? You guys were right. While being escorted to the international terminal for processing, Lopez Jimenez attempted to flee. Just makes things worse. Unbelievable. And resisted law enforcement officers. ICE is working as quickly as possible to basically repatriate the family unit to their home country of Guatemala. Where's your badge? Shut up. Oh my gosh. The arrest was not connected to the Trump administration's plan to deploy U.S. Customs and Immigration Enforcement agents to assist Transportation Secretary TSA operations during an ongoing partial government shutdown. The San Francisco mayor, oh, here we go. What does this knucklehead have to say? Incident was upsetting, and that city's sanctuary policies would not change. It's so unbelievable. It's so crazy. Just people out here doing shenanigans. It's so silly. How do we I don't know how you get rid of this. Why is it not allowing me to moderate my own channel anymore? Anyways, Well, that is the news. That was incredible. Oops, keep pinning that. Let's unpin that. I'm trying to remove this person. I don't know why Rumble doesn't allow us to remove stuff anymore. Interesting. No posting links. Yeah, thanks. I appreciate it. That person's been here before posting stuff. Well, that's today's news. Let me see, make sure we're not missing anything big for you guys. I think we kind of covered the stuff that I thought would be fun. Pretty crazy article to end off on, huh? I feel like it's always the last article that it's always the last article that's kind of the crazy one. Actually, I'm gonna repost this. I want to take a peek at this really quick. I guess there's a new study reveals that Gavin Newsom's $20 minimum wage hike in California is backfiring, resulting in slashed hours. I want to take a peek at this really quick here.
Statewide minimum wage hike for fast food workers is now set at $20 an hour. It was designed to help struggling employees, but a new study from UC Santa Cruz suggests it may be doing the complete opposite.
Yeah, Fox 26 News reporter Myra Franco breaks down the findings for us and what it reveals. Myra.
The study shows more people are applying for fast food jobs, but many are not seeing increased hours or even securing employment at all. It also finds businesses are cutting shifts, customers are paying higher prices, and more machines are replacing workers.
You can't deny that places are closing. Big chains are closing. People are getting laid off. I mean, there's no denying that.
In the study, UC Santa Cruz researchers also spoke with a McDonald's franchise owner in the Central Valley of 18 locations. They found employees got their hours cut by over 11.5% after the wage law took effect. That drop equals to about 62 full-time jobs. Researchers say based on the 2 years of data, the same pattern may be happening across the state and not just in Santa Cruz.
Literally not shocked. So, you're telling me that the thing that would happen happened. You're telling me that almost every economics book out there says this would happen. Happened. Gotcha. And then that brings up, I don't know if you guys saw this yesterday. I saw this. They're starting to do robots now at McDonald's. This is a real thing, by the way. I'm pretty sure this is a real thing. At least there was articles on it. McDonald's are testing robot workers at one of their stores in China. This is where it starts. And you know what? This thing ain't gonna get your order wrong. Maybe at the beginning, but at some point it ain't.
It's over. McDonald's, they don't want any interaction. They took the whole menu off of the screen. They want you to order here. The robots are taking over. It's over.
Well, when you're pricing yourself out of market, I mean, again, this is supposed to be a teenager's job, but it's turned into a career. Like, you working fast food has turned into a career. Not supposed to be. Get the teenagers out there working. It's actually rare to see a teenager working nowadays, especially in fast food. I tend to actually see adults working in fast food. Maybe like a manager being an adult, that makes sense. But it's like, you used to go to the mall and you just see teenagers working at the mall. Or I would say actually the most teenagers I would see nowadays are working at like movie theaters or like In-N-Out. I've seen a lot of teenagers at In-N-Out, Chick-fil-A, but still a lot of adults working at like Jack in the Box, Carl's Jr. I'm not, and by the way, it could be a second job too. I'm not throwing any shade, man. At least you're working. And please understand that somebody working fast food, I am not throwing shade in the slightest. It could be a second job. I've even thought about getting a job at a fast food joint late at night when I was a teacher, just to make a little extra money because the money's so good at fast food now. But if I have the choice, I usually go up to the kiosk. I don't like dealing with people taking my order because you tell them, hey, can I get a cheeseburger with fries? You want a hot dog with a Coke? It's like, no, I want a cheeseburger with fries. Got it. We got 2 hot dogs, 1 curly fry, and a Coca-Cola. No, I just want a cheeseburger with fries. Got it. So we got a cheeseburger with fries. It's just, I'm being silly, but you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, this is a great way to get our youth back in the workforce, start making a little extra cash. Hey, they can't go out and start robbing places if they're working, right? I mean, I suppose they could rob the place that they're working in, but anywho. That's a pretty interesting study out from, what was that from? UC Santa Cruz study where they came out with that. So interesting. Fascinating. All right, folks. Well, I hope you have a lovely day. I hope that your week is starting off well. It is Tuesday. I can't believe we're already almost a quarter of the way through the year. I feel like we just had New Year's, man. This year is flying by. It's almost freaky deaky how quick it's going by. But we'll be back here tomorrow for more news. And we'll see the shenanigans that's happening around there in the world. And I hope you guys head over to baldbrad.com, make a donation if you can. If you feel like you have the money in your pocketbook, would always greatly appreciate your help on that front, because the stuff is really expensive, actually. And the prices keep going up. So I've actually thought about doing away with the website, but anywho, thank you to everybody that always contributes. God bless you guys. Really appreciate your help. Thank you for always watching. That's the most we can ask from you. Hit that like button if you can. If you watch this a little bit later, make sure you leave a comment. It does help engage, and it helps the algorithm send our videos out there to new viewers who haven't seen our content or our channel. Have a blessed day. Pray for this country. Pray for Donald Trump. And as always, make sure that you are praying throughout the day. And even after this episode, if you can't get it in through the rest of the day, get in right after this episode. Even if it's a 30-second prayer, that's very, very powerful. And read a piece of scripture. With that being said, God bless you guys. Take care.